I'm Christina Chalk, Miss Universe Great Britain first runner-up, and you're watching Pageants and PJ's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's Adrian from the Pageant Project. Oh, I forgot how much of a disaster this thing can be. Our special guest for today, if she can still hear us, and if we can still hear her, is Christina. Don't start. It's been a long week. Okay, I described her as inimitable, the inimitable Christina Chalk. Christina, welcome to the show. How are you?
Wow, I'm good. What does inimitable mean? I have never heard that word before.
As in can't be imitated, as in original, as in there's only one of you.
You are the one and only.
You're such a charmer. Gonna make me cry. It's okay. It's only 10 o'clock. I can cry now. Most of the day has passed, so it's permitted.
We're past the watershed, are we? So we're allowed to cry. It's all good.
Exactly.
Danny, I don't think we can hear you. Say something.
Say something.
You're on mute.
No, I was going there. I'm glad you got there first, Chloe.
You might need to drop out and come back on. Yeah, it's got the mute. Just pop off and come back on.
She's like doing that Italian thing that all the footballers did at the.
Hey.
Okay. What was wrong there?
Well, I muted myself when I first got on because I had a really squeaky chair, and
the chair.
I had to turn myself off of mute. So yeah. Can you hear it echoing? I'm really sorry. My phone was dying, and I have this little adapter that allows me to have headphones and to be charging my phone at the same time, but I have lost it. So at the moment, I'm sacrificing sound quality in order for me to have battery. I hope you don't mind.
It's okay. It's okay. You sound like you're in a toilet. It's all good. So it's just the usual.
Just the usual voice for me. Thanks.
Who was it we had on the
podcast? Paying homage to the hot Scot we have on tonight.
Oh, you. I'm just like creating a black hole, darkness. That's what you're getting from me today.
Like my soul.
My soul can finally come out.
You look like a Bond girl right now. I mean, you're in the Swiss Alps, dressed all in black. You look like the next Bond girl. Christina Chalk will be the next James Bond, since we're going that way.
I would love that. Give me something else to do. I was thinking about this the other day, and the 3 months up to the pageant were so intense that now, like, although my work is intense, I need something as intense to kind of back it up. And there's just like this hole. I'm like, what do I have to fill it with? I've been to like 4 dance classes last week. Every single night. I was like, gotta do something now. I'm not preparing.
What? Oh, I don't know. I mean, Danielle or Chloe, you can suggest some things to get over pageant hangover. I've never really had pageant hangover. So what are your suggestions for helping Christina get over her pageant hangover?
I mean, it frees up a lot of time, doesn't it? When you're focusing on a pageant, it literally consumes your life. So it's having to find maybe another pageant.
I was going to say that. That would be the easiest suggestion. Just go straight into another pageant.
Oh my gosh, that is a great idea. But I've aged out of myth. Well, I think I have.
Not all of them.
So me and Amy.
Can anyone out there fake like a birth certificate so that we can make Christina like 25 or something again?
You can use my ID.
You two look so similar.
And people will Google my name and get the beautiful Christina. I'll be buzzing. And I'll be like, yeah, that's me.
Coming from you. God. Everyone is so charming on this call. I'm so glad I jumped on here.
Yeah, why is everyone buttering up Christina so much? What's going on here? This is slightly unusual.
Because they know I'm fragile.
Yeah, right. Well, okay. So let's go around the room for a second, get everyone to catch us up. Let's start with our inimitable guest. I'm going to keep you. That's the word of the day, toilet paper coming in.
I'm going to write it down.
Yes, good luck spelling it. Inimitable. Christina also wrote down her intro and still managed to screw it up, and I recorded it. So I might play that or put that up on my Instagram. It's not that. Is Pageants and PJ's podcast really that difficult to say? Pageants and PJ's podcast.
I think it's a challenge.
Pageants and PJ's podcast.
Pageants and pajamas. And the pressure to use the right words.
Pageants and pajamas.
And bananas.
Anyway. Bananas and pajamas. Okay, before we get too lost and talking about tongue twisters, Christina, why don't you catch us up with what life has been like since it feels like a lifetime ago since Miss Universe GB?
Wow. What has been happening? It's a very good question. As soon as the pageant finished on the Sunday, I had to book a flight back straight to Geneva because my project got extended. So I've been working every single day since then. But your gals got to make some money, honey. So we're doing it for the gals. We're doing it for the bosses out there, showing that it can be done by the end of the year.
Oh, because you were going to take a week off, weren't you, and go on holiday?
Yeah.
And
he's like, no, it got extended.
I was like, oh, sunshine. And this is why I'm so pale right now. Maybe are Bone Girls usually this pale?
Yeah,
I love it.
But
yes.
Do people tan in the winter? I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one because I don't usually fake tan.
Not in Switzerland, that's for sure.
No, they do not. The snow just reflects right off of our faces. It's almost like moonlight shining on everybody.
Moonlight.
In the middle of the day. It's confusing. Yeah, but I was just hoping to get a little bit of a break after the pageant, but alas, it was not meant to be. I did manage to take a Sunday off. That was good.
Treat yourself.
I know. Treat yourself. But yeah, just I keep on plodding through it, and I just don't think I've like processed everything yet. Like it still feels like everything is happening, and I think once I actually take a break longer than a day, everything will hit me with its rhythm stick.
Are you going to be taking a break over Christmas time? Are you going to come back home?
I'm going to try and come home for sure. My project finishes on the 8th, I hope. And then after that, who knows? Maybe I was like, I haven't really done any like fun trips. I was like, there's one, like all the cool cats seem to be going to like Dubai or something. And I was like, does one go there? I don't know. Usually I'm more like Asia. Does one follow their dreams to the Middle East? But then I realized I'd probably be going on my own, so that is not a good plan.
No, you won't. I'm sure you'll find someone to go. Me and Eden were actually supposed to be there this week, but we decided to push it back because Eden, as part of winning Miss Great Britain, won a few days in the Duke's Hotel in Dubai. So we'll be going there at some stage. So when we go, you should come. We should all go and live it up in Dubai, because I believe that is where one goes now, according to
I know. Well, as soon as you go, you're like hashtag influencer, so might as well be in the cool squad.
You broke 5,000 followers, Christina. I thought that was enough. That you're going to gun for the 10,000 next, or the blue tick.
I know. Swipe up the cheese.
You have to get that camel selfie.
Camel selfie.
Yeah, like the selfies on the camels that all the influencers get.
Oh, that's
I was going to
So,
say, like,
probably-
with the camel, I was going to say, you don't want to get that close to a camel's face because they do spit.
Oh.
Do they lick as well? I've seen pictures with camels' tongues sticking out. Do they lick you in the face as well?
Probably.
Just slap you with
You're not
their
thinking of giraffes because giraffes lick you.
Oh my god, did you see that video where the giraffe's tongue went in the car window and then they closed it in its head? It was so sad. I know, they closed
What
the
have you been watching?
window.
Their tongues are
What have you
really
been-
long and they're black.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be careful
I don't
with
know if you
that
can find
stuff.
that video on YouTube, possibly, but it's really sad.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
apparently my breath-
What were you watching that YouTube suggested giraffe gets tongue stuck in window?
No, it's its whole head. And
Its whole
just-
head.
The whole
Sorry,
head.
I'm not laughing at it. I cried when I first seen it. It was really sad, but apparently it was on the news then that the giraffe was not harmed, but
Oh.
people just filmed it and they who thinks of closing?
Why would you film? What's wrong with people? First off, don't close your window on a giraffe's head. Secondly, don't film it. Let it go. People can be so stupid sometimes. I'm getting a little bit of an echo. I'm thinking it might be Danielle. Can you guys hear an echo, or is it just me?
Let me turn it down a little bit because that
It was a bit.
Yeah.
There we go. I can hear you. Hopefully, there's not
Okay.
too much an echo anymore.
I think that's sounding a bit better. Thank you. All right. So sounds like Christina has completely lost it after the pageant, is now referring to herself as one does this, one does that.
Because I've totally dissociated from myself. I don't know who I am anymore. No, I'm joking. But I did have this massive craving. I was, walking. Walking in the
Walking as
hills.
one does.
Walking along is one.
Walking along up the mountain as one does. And I was just like, because I never really got the cravings after the pageant. I was like, I'm doing pretty well. Like, maybe I can keep this gym stuff up and eat healthy and all of that jazz. And then boom, it hit me today. And now I'm sat next to the computer with Trolley Dino Rex. They're also vegan, so they're actually very good. I was just looking for the most sugary, sweet thing that I could just buy in the instant. And I ate them before dinner, I ate them during dinner, and I ate them after dinner.
Were they not
So
mixed
it's like
with the
really
potatoes as well in the dinner?
Oh yeah. You know how you get salt and sweet popcorn? It's a bit like that.
With a gummy.
with a wee gummy. No, I'm not totally lost.
Don't eat the gravy.
When one finds a gummy in their potato.
When one finds a gummy in your potatoes. It was a good day. I don't really know what usually happens during your pageant and PJs, but I'm not sure it's that.
Well, actually, it quite often is, but I thought when I interviewed you, you were so sharp and on point and so intelligent. I'm now going, well, this is a different side to Christina. She sounds like she's completely jumped off the cliff somehow. She's lost all her marbles. The pageant's done it to her. She's now become pageant mad, and she's now a shell of her former self.
Wow.
No, I think
that way, it is exactly what is happening.
I love this, Christina.
Oh wow,
Christina?
we've lost Chloe as well.
Okay,
Honestly,
so no one can talk. Apparently, it's all good. We don't need to be able to talk. It's just a podcast. Oh, okay. So that's what Christina's been doing, losing her mind. Chloe, what has your week been like, or the last couple of weeks? Because we went on last week. Yes, have a thought. Strike your chin like an evil genius.
Yeah, well. Well, yeah, I've had a good few weeks. This weekend I was at a charity event with Nadia, who's Miss Universe Ireland, and Eden, Miss Great Britain, and it was for Emerge. Yeah. What was that? Sorry.
I love
that.
Yeah, see me and my hand gestures. But yeah, it was a charity event for Emerge Counselling Services, which is like a counselling charity to help people with mental health. And yeah, it was really, really fun. There was this guy, Harry, who was a performer and he was outstanding. And he had this band on stage with him, an incredible night. Like we had Joel, the famous magician from TikTok, was there. Like really, really fun night. Good weekend. I did have a bit too much champagne and wine though, because I woke up the next day with a god awful headache. So we don't do that anymore, kids. We don't do that anymore.
No mixing your spirits.
No.
Hey, there she is.
Oh, I love that dress. And if any of you want to borrow it, you can. I actually
I was actually looking for it.
I've been looking for a blue dress.
Yeah, I got it on sale for like £70 on Forever Unique, but I think it was originally like 300-400, so I got it for a bargain.
Ooh.
Yeah, the bargain queen.
You're killed.
Chloe, who was taking the photo?
Eden.
Was she shaking or something? This photo is really blurry.
I was shaking. I was like falling down the stairs because I can't walk in heels or stand still in heels by the looks of things.
Never blame yourself, boy. It is never your fault.
Honestly, I'm so clumsy and shaky. Anyone who knows me, he's like, Chloe, why are you shaking? Like, it's just like a constant question. Are you okay? I'm like, yes, I just do this.
Are you okay?
All
That's
the time.
not
People
a
like,
question
are you
that
okay?
one
You're shaking.
wants
I'm
to
like,
hear.
I always shake. It's fine. Just a bit unstable, but it's all okay.
I'm glad one is okay, though.
You sound like one of those puppies that's really timid and goes to the corner and just starts shaking all the time. You know, one of those little, well, like Paris, just sort of like shake because they're really, really nervous and worked up.
Even when I'm not nervous, for absolutely no reason, I'm just like, oh.
Is that why you're in a coat right now?
Is that why what?
Are you in a blazer or are you in a coat?
Oh, I'm in a coat. I'm always cold as well. Maybe that's why I always shiver.
You should get like a heated blanket because they actually sort your life out.
The thing is, my house is roasting. I don't know why I'm in this coat, but like, I don't know. I'm always cold.
This is just we're just a smoldering train wreck of a disaster this week, aren't we? So let's see, Danielle, how are things going for you? Can you elevate this smoldering train wreck? Make it even worse. Danny's lost again. We can't hear the audio.
Let's guess what she's saying. She said cheese. Cheese again.
No, can't hear you. Do you want to drop off and come back on?
That might be a good idea. I have to say, I actually did not give myself credit in what I've done this week. I've actually done quite a lot.
Well, then tell us about it.
Okay, if I must. So we're
look here. You can have the whole screen to yourself. Here you go.
Oh wow!
Tell us a story.
Well, let me take you to last Monday. Oh wow, we're back.
I'm like moving.
Wow, we're definitely doing a switch. So we're in the second week of our project, and we've got the project in Zhanjiang, which was previously listed at 29 million. So currently, I am looking for buyers for property at 29 million, and so I thought, just pennies, right? Pennies. So I thought, okay, where am I going to find these people? And this week there was Gem Genève on at the exhibition center, which is basically a jewelry exhibition, and there's just these massive like stones, diamonds, emeralds, and I met someone their nickname is Ice Rock on Instagram, as well as an Emerald Empress. And I somehow managed to get in the mix with jewelry brokers, and I was invited to dinner, and my friend from New York invited me in with this whole diamond dealing crew.
Diamond dealing crew.
Yes, I was like, wow.
Dealing, right? Not diamond smuggling.
Not diamond smuggling.
Diamond dealing.
Not diamond smuggling.
So there's no robbers.
No.
Oh,
That's
we're
why
just
she's
fun in
dressed all in
that.
black. She's just pulled off a giant diamond heist.
Yes.
Here we have it. A whole lot of
Pageant girl by day, diamond thief by night. That actually could work. That would be a very interesting interview. I would take that on.
Yeah, you're like, well, you've cracked it now. I couldn't share it with you earlier. One had to keep it a secret, but you had to ask me twice. So that was an exciting part of my week, spending time with the diamond dealers.
So did one of the diamond dealers buy the house?
No, unfortunately not. However, I do say to people that you never know who knows who. So you've always got to introduce yourself, what you're up to, just share your friendship, your knowledge, and who knows what's going to come back to you. It's never expected. It just happens. So maybe in 5 years' time, something will come of it. But I actually made some pretty good friends that night.
Oh.
Spoken like a true pageant queen, always working the room. Just before we circle around to Danielle, let's just bring up Christina. Is this the one where you're singing?
You know this is gonna happen.
Wow.
And then I spent so many nights.
Is that Lara Croft? That's not Christina. That's Lara Croft.
It looks like Lara Croft.
Yeah, that's not even you.
She's
Christina.
not Bond girl. She's not anyone's girl. She's Lara Croft. She's her own woman. There you go.
And I also have bananas as guns.
Were they bananas?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's have a look at this. Oh, yes, they are. And is that yellow gaffer tape?
Yeah, it is.
Yellow gaffer tape.
I was trying to find black gaffer tape, but this was a very last-minute costume, as you can tell.
I love it.
No, I think it looks awesome.
So do I.
Well, we got what it was.
Let me know. The bananas might not be okay, but the rest of it.
I was going to say, throughout the night, if you fancy
if you get hungry,
snack,
you can eat one of your guns.
Exactly.
That doesn't sound right. But anyway, what was this Halloween, was it? Oh, she's still going.
Yes, that was Halloween. That was like a week ago, I think. Was it a week ago?
6 days ago. Just.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days.
That place looks like a vibe.
It is cool.
It's actually good fun.
Is that in Geneva?
I drove back up to Verbier, so there's just quite a lot of year-round people there now, and so they opened up like 3 of the bars, and they were all packed. So obviously had to get up and give a tune. It'd be wrong.
So, talent section for next pageant. When you do work out which pageant, talent section sorted. Go on stage, dress as Lara Croft.
With your bananas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The bio bananas. Oh my God, Miss Earth.
There we go. There is a talent round.
Don't talk to me about Miss Earth. I've done so many Miss Earth interviews now and worked with so many of their videos. Miss Earth has a theme song, something about women of the earth. The other day, I was going for a walk and I had that song stuck in my head. It's like, oh my God, this is the worst song to have stuck in. It just gets in your head and then you can't get it out. So, yeah, Miss Earth is happening if you haven't noticed. But, all right. So, Danielle was going to fill us in on her week before we couldn't hear her. So, Danielle.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Yes, we can.
What have I been up to? So I think I've been to Miss Teen GB. That was the week that I couldn't make it, so I'm sorry for missing that. Miss Teen GB was on. Week after that, what did I get up to? Was that last weekend? No, I can't remember. Probably working.
Oh, wow. Adrian,
wow.
That is epic.
Yeah, so I just put a post up before I came on here. Just been doing some little business courses here and there, and they stress the importance of sharing your why and thinking about your why a lot more. So I want to share my why I started the pageant stylist. I don't know if you can read there, but a little backstory. I'm going off tangent here. A little backstory is, growing up in the East End of London, I lived in my sister's hand-me-downs. She is 8 years older than me. So as you can imagine, I wasn't the most stylish of kids growing up. My parents' fashion choices were questionable. And so I was definitely that kid in the playground that didn't have any designer trainers. I didn't even have like Nike trainers. They were like Tesco plimsolls I used to live in, and I didn't own anything with a brand on it other than Ladybird from B8 British Home Stores. Ladybird from Woolworths. I think that was like the biggest brand that I ever did wear. And so I started making my own clothes. I'm digressing a little bit. I didn't want the thing to be too long, otherwise people switch off. I used to make my own clothes, used to customize my hand-me-downs, and then started working for Kate Spade, build a big client base there, missed it, and then that's when the pageant stylist was born. So I wanted to share my why, and there's a few pictures from Charlotte Clemmy on there, my new ones. So if you click along, these ones I haven't. I've just now dropped these ones.
Love it.
Those are incredible.
Thanks.
And that's such a beautiful story too, to come from, nothing and have your sister's hand-me-downs, and, from a struggling family who's did their best to look after you, to you now thriving and finding a love in fashion.
Yeah,
Because it's beautiful that it's something.
Go on.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's beautiful that it's like something new and fresh for you as well too, because you didn't have that growing up. So like now that you're able to do it, like your creativity's on point.
Yeah, I think some people look at me and my styling and they know that I like more kind of designer, high-end clothes, and I think they maybe assume that I had money growing up or I had designer clothes. I really didn't. So the buzz that I feel now whenever I buy a piece that is designer is undescribable, because I didn't have that. Like I had the fake Kappa popper jogging bottoms. Anyone that remembers those jogging bottoms with the poppers up the side, if you were a 90s kid?
I'm pretty sure they came back this year, did they not?
Yeah, but I had like the knockoff fake versions of those. Like everything was kind of like hooky, as my mum would call it. So I kind of wanted to give people a little bit of context of maybe understanding a bit more about me, because I think people might look at me and just assume that I've got money coming out of my ears. I don't. I save my money and I buy key pieces that I really love. And my love for styling people grew when I worked at Kate Spade, because I didn't approach it as I was selling clothes. Most people that walked into our stores, they had a bit of time on their hands, and we used to just play dress up. So I used to pick out a few items, they used to pick out a few items. Sometimes we'd set like a timer, we've got 3 minutes to create a fabulous outfit. And I would literally challenge the customer. So random, you could tell I was so bored. And that's kind of like where my love for styling grew. And so, that's a little bit of a backstory on me. But the rest of the week, I have just been working, and spending a little bit of time with some family.
Oh,
that sounds even busy.
There was I'm at the moment reading a book by Simon Sinek. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's famous he has a TED Talk, and he's always talking about start with why. Mm-hmm. And he's from a marketing background, so he often says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Yeah. So if you think of a company like Apple, for example, everyone associates with Apple their why. It's like being rebellious or being an original, versus something like Microsoft. Yeah, exactly. So I think putting up a post about your backstory, I think that's a good idea. And it's probably stuff in there that I don't know about you, which is saying something. So I'll have to give that a read. That I just noticed in the background behind you, Danny, that the crown photo has made a reappearance. Christina, do you know about the significance of that crown photo and this podcast?
I don't, but I have seen it in images of Danny, but I've not known the meanings behind it.
So when we first started out, obviously I was at my dad's house and I used to have it propped up. Well, it's propped up now, it's not actually on the wall. I don't think you'll ever hang on a nail. It'll always be propped up. It was propped up on the back of my bed, and multiple times it would fall on me mid-podcast because I would lean back and I would forget it was behind me, and then it would fall on me. And Adrian always jokes that it'll never get put on the wall, and it won't ever get put on the wall. It's moved to South Wales with me, and it's now being propped up on a little chest of drawers there.
Oh, a nice wee corner.
Yeah.
Crushed by crown. Stacey has said hello.
Hey,
Stacey,
Stacey.
Don't you ever sleep? Stacey and I had like an hour and a half interview, and then we were on for another hour and a half, and it was like 4 a.m. by the time she got off. So I don't what's wrong with you guys? None of you sleep. How come none of you sleep? What's wrong with all you pageant girls? None of you ever sleep.
You don't sleep either. You get up super early, and I'm sure you're doing some podcasts with some European queen. And you're always like proper, like,
you're always like poof and gone.
I was enjoying that. I thought I was about to get a compliment, and then she dropped off. It's like, God damn it! Oh dear.
Yeah, you're telling us, don't we ever sleep? What time is it right now with you?
Morning.
Oh, it's quite leisurely now because I'm in summertime and you guys are wintertime. So it's now an 8 a.m. start for me with this podcast rather than 6 a.m.
Oh.
So I'm doing pretty well, but I had to be up at 5 this morning. Sorry, Miss Chalk, what were you saying before you dropped off?
I just find that you're always awake. That was the point of my story. It's like whenever I needed an answer, you're always replying, no matter what time of day. I mean, you gave me your calendar and was like, if you need me, book in, and I'll be there. You were just responding. There was no need to book in. You were awake.
He's awake.
Okay, Christina, so it's not really by choice. Like if I could sleep, I would prefer to sleep. But you know what pageant emergencies are like. All three of you. You know that moment when it's just too much. Your gown hasn't arrived, or it's arrived and it's too big, it's too small, it's the wrong color, and then all of a sudden, bless you, all of a sudden the tears come out and you need to rant and rave because no one really understands how crazy pageantry is except another pageant girl or me.
Yes, you.
And so the number of times, actually, I've probably had tears from all of you. I don't think I've had tears from Danny, but I've had people like message me at 3 a.m. just bawling. So I can't exactly go, no, too busy sleeping. So it's not really by choice.
Remember the time I hung up on you?
Oh, okay.
The time I hung up on him, I don't even remember doing this. I was like stressing out doing one of my pageant tasks when I did Universe Ireland last year that I was so stressed out that I hung up on Adrian. And like, I don't remember doing it. He said to me the next day, do you remember hanging up on me last night? And I was like, no. I feel so bad for.
It was
Christina, have you muted yourself? Oh.
Yeah, I heard a lot of echo, so I just thought I'll take myself out of the mix.
Yeah, sleep. Well, especially with Miss Earth as well. Miss Earth asks me. I can't remember if this was before. I think this happened since our last podcast. But Miss Earth asked me to be a judge, which sort of came out of nowhere. And then they've asked me to join their press conference, I think, on Friday. And Filipino time is... So they're starting everything at 8 p.m., which is 11 p.m. for me. So everything... I've had to be up at all sorts of weird hours. And then, obviously, early morning starts as well. Danny, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just thought I'd stick in my headphones just
I
because.
always thought Australia was like right beside the Philippines. I always thought you'd have the same time zone.
No, they are 3 hours behind us. I thought we'd be more similar as well, but so they start everything at 8 p.m., which is an 11 p.m. for me. And then if the press conference goes for 3 hours like it did last year, that means I'll be up until 2 in the morning. And so they asked me again yesterday, and I just asked, like, well, do you know how long it'll be? Because I want to jump on it, obviously, if I can. But I don't know how much you guys have been following Miss Earth. Have any of you been following Miss Earth? Obviously, Daniel, you know Marissa's been competing in it. How do you feel Marissa's been going?
All Marissa stuff. It looks amazing.
She looks incredible.
Point.
Yeah, I have been following it with a keen eye. In fact, I think there's been times that I've been watching it and Marissa hasn't been watching because she's been sleeping because of this time difference. And I keep sending her my notes. And she's like, girl, she's like, I'm so sorry, I couldn't respond. I was sleeping. I was like, I know you were sleeping.
Oh my
it's fine.
goodness.
I just had to give you a running commentary. Yeah, that's her pushing a truck.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the fitness,
as you do.
For the fitness round. Form and fitness. The girl, like, it's so funny because you watch some of the other contestants and they're just like, you know, walk around in their yoga outfit, looking all cute. Some of them are like swimming. And then you've got Marissa here pushing a damn truck.
Amazing.
Is it all done online then? What's the deal? Because
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of Marissa's stuff. And I was just like, wow, this is some insane marketing material that she is bringing into play. And I can imagine, because even for the Miss Universe Great Britain girls, we do like a 1-minute video. And they're not that great. Like, I have to say. Like,
well, this year Miss Earth's gone virtual. So your content is so important. It has to be nailed. So not only are they doing, like, obviously this is a swimwear section. I think this is like a swimwear preliminary. So she's done like 2 lots of swimwear. I think there's 2 lots of gowns. The final gown hasn't been released yet. I have seen it. It's going to blow everyone away. You need to be prepared, guys, because her gown is going to be iconic. I tell you that now. You're not going to be prepared for it. It's phenomenal. If you thought her preliminary gown was good, wait until you see her final gown.
Back to back ESA.
We're hoping. Well, she's traveled pretty much the whole of the United States. I think she's filmed in at least 5 states. She's filmed in Miami, she's filmed in Utah, she's filmed in California, in Maine. She's really traveled to try and show the viewers her country at the end of the day. You know, I think the amount of effort she has put into it. There's a lot of girls that have filmed in their living rooms and, you know, filmed in their backyards. Marissa has literally traveled one of the biggest countries in the world to showcase how amazing the landscapes are in the United States.
I think it boosts your creativity as well.
Absolutely.
It's good to see that. But to have a team that supports you is amazing.
Oh, yes. So obviously the Miss Earth USA director, she really knows what she's doing. She has, it was massive. I don't know if you saw Miss Earth USA, but it was a big event and obviously Marissa won. And so you do have more of a backing. She has sponsors. Also, Marissa's been in the pageant world for quite a few years now. She's a seasoned veteran. She's someone that's definitely networked. And so she's literally the perfect person for Miss Earth because she knows how to be a queen and she knows how to bring brands all in to collaborate. So she's had a lot of support, which has come through the Miss Earth USA organization, but also she's brought in her own contacts as well that have really helped her out. So
you have to graft. Like when we were having discussions pre Miss Universe Great Britain, it wasn't just, you know, we obviously had a great session with you and Paula and all the girls, but it's what the girl does outside of that makes a difference, that really elevates them. And yes, you can say that they were just handed all of these contacts and opportunities, but actually they're not. They have to like ask, they have to fight for it, they have to follow up, and they've got to keep on going to not just maintain the support, but get even more, because it's just not enough. It's never enough. You've got to keep on moving, just like you do in life.
Absolutely. So I really hope it's a back-to-back for USA. There are some strong contenders out there. I feel like the girls in Africa are really stepping it up as well. I'm like, okay, Africa's on fire at the moment, so I've really been watching them. Europeans, I'm not gonna lie, there's a mixed bag of Europeans this year. As there always is. I feel like Europe as a continent of pageantry are not very, you either know your stuff or you're kind of very new.
And that's the thing, Europeans are such beautiful people, like especially like Sweden and stuff, but then sometimes in pageants they just don't really deliver.
No, yeah.
But I think a lot of it too is like, like the directors in the US have a lot of money to pump into it. They get their girls like the best dresses, and they've got the best production value, the best shows. Like a lot of the girls, the European girls,
yeah,
they don't have anything.
No. Well, Marissa is wearing Renee Couture in that video, and it wasn't something that was purchased for her. It was a brand that she'd worked for, she'd modeled for, and they were willing to give her dresses. So she's not even had to pay any money for her dresses, because she has done the graft and she has networked and built up a mutual working relationship with a brand. So it's something that the European girls can absolutely do. I mean, in Kosovo and Albania, they've got all these incredible European designers coming through. In Christina, in Kosovo in particular, there are so many gown designers just in that one town. So all you need to do is go in there, show your face, do a little bit of modeling, talk to someone, talk to their marketing team. It's being proactive. Yes, the directors need to help, but also it's a real test whether the girl actually wants it or not. And I think Marissa's one of these girls that she doesn't do things by halves. She goes in there and she gives it 110%.
Well, you have to if you're going to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, also, if you're going to enter such a big pageant, I mean, why would you not give it your best? That's sometimes what boggles my, like, I can't understand. If you're going to do something like that, which you can only do once, why would you give it anything other than your best? And, I've been working with a few of the European girls. I'll be interviewing Miss Earth Denmark. I think it's Denmark this week, as well as Miss Universe Norway, who's someone that I've been working with. And it's interesting seeing the different levels of support. So to give you an idea, I interviewed Miss Earth New Zealand. So New Zealand is still in lockdown from COVID. So when she had to film those videos, she couldn't even leave her house. And she also couldn't bring in anyone from outside her bubble to even help with the filming. So she had her housemates help with the filming, and she had to make do with what she had already in her house. They had dress things and like that sorted, but she couldn't access them because the whole country got locked down. And yet she's having to compete against people who obviously have more resources. So that was something that I thought the virtual judges, because I was on the judging panel, I thought they should have impressed on us that it's not so much the video production we should be looking at, it's more the girl behind it. Similarly to what we say, you don't judge the dress. You want to look at the girl, the woman who's wearing it. But then some of the directors overseas, like, this is why I keep saying, if you've got a great director, stick by them, because a number of directors who just seem to, I wouldn't say they don't care, but what seems to happen is they hold the national pageant and that's all they're interested in. But the whole point is you pick your national representative to then go and compete on the international stage. And it's always confused me why, as a director, you would pick the best girl, then just not focus on her, just focus on next year's national pageant. So there's been a huge, especially with virtual pageants, huge differences in the level of support from the directors, contacts and things like that. But someone like Marissa, it wouldn't matter about the directorship team because she's been doing this for so long and worked so hard. Most of the contacts is something that she's built up herself. And also, I think if you look at her social media, it's very clear that obviously she promotes the partnership as well. Because very often I have pageant girls just reaching out to me, or even directors reaching out to me and say, oh, do you want to interview this person? Or can you do this? Or can you give us a shout out? Or they're just tagging me. And it's like, partnership doesn't work like that. Like, why would I want to promote you on my platform, as small as it is, when I have no idea who you are? And that honestly actually bugs me. So I think pageant girls sometimes need to learn, like, building a partnership, especially a professional one, takes time. There needs to be an element of trust, and you need to work hard, especially after COVID. Like, if you're a business and you want me to support you with something that's $1,000, $2,000, you've got to give something back in return. And I often find pageant girls don't really keep that in mind. They just send out bunches of sponsorship emails. Like, what are you going to give the brand in return? So
I also think there's a way, like, from a sales background, I don't think there's any shame in asking, right? But there's a way in asking. And
100%.
as you said, it's earning it and trusting and getting a good vibe of somebody. But there's like some posts that I've seen and some emails in the background and stuff that just really quite piss me off. Just like demanding things rather than asking and being grateful. And I think what people need to remember is that nobody has to help you, okay? Like, nobody has to help you. So be nice, ask with a gracious attitude, and say what you're going to do in return. Or if there's not much you can do, ask what the other person would like you to do. And maybe they don't want anything in return. That's fine, and they're quite happy to help you. But don't just demand something from other people, because at the end of the day, people support nice people. That's it.
Thank you for your TED talk.
100%.
I've seen some things recently. They've made me angry.
You and me both. But I mean, it's a fair point, because I see some of the emails, like sponsorship emails or messages that some of the girls send out, and they're just worded in a very, what's that word? Entitled way. I don't know if that's quite the right way to put it. Yeah, but I think you just have to understand that if you're asking for £100, €100, or you want to borrow €1,000 gown, whatever it is, putting up one post on your social that has 100 followers, it's like that doesn't mean monetarily that much to most of these businesses. So I think you have to look to give more than you take. And there are many ways that pageant girls can actually be useful to sponsors, because I mean, pageant girls, someone said, are the original influencers, the OG influencers. And in many ways they really are. That's how pageantry started, was, pageant girls would promote certain cities, visiting certain cities and certain towns. So I know getting sponsorship is hard. I'm not saying it's not, but I think because it's hard, that's an even better reason to up your game, because you need to stand out.
Human touch.
Yeah.
I think if you're a robot, then you're going to just be put aside like a spam email, like everything else. Unless you're a product that someone's particularly looking for at that moment in time. But the chances of that is very low. Like, naturally in sales, the chance that you hit somebody with what you're selling in that moment is so low. You have to be able to spike the interest and then open the door. You don't just blast it open and expect to get it all free. So I think if you have a good attitude and you're gracious and you want to take the time to get to know them, it's going to be so much easier than being someone who is entitled at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I always struggled with in pageantry, is asking for sponsors. Like, any pageant I've ever done, I've always paid my own sponsorship fees, because I've always been like too nervous to ask anyone, because I always have this fear that what if I don't do well, or I let them down, or disappoint someone. So I always end up forking it out of my own pocket, basically. Which
I think, as long as you go above and beyond for that person, that you share their logos, and you depending on the sponsor, I always take the example of a dentist. If you have a dentist sponsoring you, you can go and have a checkup and film, or have your mum come along and film your checkup, or I don't know, do an Instagram stories on my way to the dentist, tag my dentist, she's looking after my pearly whites. Like, there's so much you can do. You can do posts, you can do stories, you can make a TikTok. You have a great TikTok following. So you've really just got to shout about them and just say how thankful you are. And then that will instantly send people their way that are interested in that service. I just try and think outside the box. I've had a few girls ask me about sponsorship, and I'm like basically write down a list of what you think you could do for them, and just say, here's a few of my ideas, but I'd be interested to know what you guys need. They might need, I remember there was one dentist that I was talking to, and they needed a presenter because they had their own YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it, but I did send someone else their way, and they had a presenter, a pageant girl as a presenter for their YouTube channel, and she got the sponsorship and she got all the treatments. So you just, you know, she did that, you know, presenting for free for them, and had the people come in and film it, and they organised all of that. But they needed the voice and the face and the teeth of the brand, and she was a perfect fit. So, yeah, there's loads you can do. Depends on the brand. If you're hairstylist, if you go into a hairdresser's, you can maybe be a hair model for them when they go to like L'Oreal or Salon International. You could be a hair model for them.
Yeah, I think even the fact, Chloe, you are nervous about it, because I was as well. And for this time around, I did sponsor myself. However, I did sponsor myself, but I did use my sister's branding so that she could get positioning, because she's great. Anyway, not about her. But I think the fact that you're nervous means that you're actually coming from a good place, and you just needed advised on how to attack this situation. Because if you were like, I've got this, I'm the best bloody thing that should be sponsored ever, let's bang out this same email to absolutely everybody, I'm gonna have loads of money by the end of this is great, and then you get nothing. Whereas if you're like, oh, I don't know, like, it shouldn't be that you don't know what you have to offer, because like a lot of the time we all have that fear. You're like, what am I give? Like, what's worthwhile? But when you take a moment to think about that, and you are guided by your angels on this call now, there's so much more that can come from that, because it's coming from a good place. It's not coming from a place of entitlement.
Yeah, that's good.
I always say, think outside the box. Think outside the box on what you could do for them.
Yeah, DHL. I'm sure they need somebody for their next commercial.
Are they having another sale on?
I've got a DHL box for you here from your gowns.
Oh, I thought you meant DHS. Sofas.
Yeah, your DHL box from your gowns that arrived that had to be delivered here.
Oh, is this me?
Yes.
Not me. I don't have my box of gowns has gone somewhere else.
But that's a prime example of someone that has reached out to people that she admires in the industry, has said, I would love to wear your pieces. Would you be interested in collaborating? And you did. You were wearing a couple of Filipino designers, weren't you?
I was so scared, honestly. I was like, they are just going to say no. And Danny was like, you can do it. And I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't. I can't do it. Can't do it. Like, why would they send me the dress? And I got questions like, oh, is it the international or is it the national? And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. It's not even the international. Of course, they're not going to sponsor me. And I was like, it's for the national. And they're like, great. What are you looking to design? And I was, there it is. Look,
I love
there
that.
it is, our golden goddess.
I was obsessed. Thank you, Adrian. I just don't know if I'm ever going to fit in that dress again, to be fair. With these new Dino Rex gummies.
One may fit in that dress again.
One day. Yeah, I reached out, and actually there was a bit of a panic because there was a moments of silence, and I hadn't seen any sketches. I wasn't sure if it was coming. Yes, this was from Philip Tampus, who I met once in London. And I just thought, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. Like, he was so lovely when we shot together, and it was actually through the Royalties group, who are mad pageant fans in the UK, but they're Filipino and they're fantastic. However, this time around, I did do my training with Grace Levy. Thank you so much, Grace. But they connected me with him previously, and so I was glad that I could work with him again. But I do have a lot of his gowns, and you have the box. Now
I had the box.
You do. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I did not recycle it.
No, it's fine. We haven't recycled it yet. We have so much cardboard we need to get rid of.
Why are you doing this to me, Adrian?
On repeat.
How do you move like that?
Exactly. I don't know. That's why I was going to ask. Like, what is this? What's going on
Is your
here?
back okay?
Like the standing worm.
My back was so sore for like 2 weeks after
I
doing.
don't blame you.
Is that Steph in the background as well?
Yeah. Quite a facial expression.
I think it was Grace or Jeanette that was filming at the time of rehearsals, and I just saw it go up, and loads of people sent me it. I was like, classic. I'm not even ashamed of that.
What is this, the dance rehearsals or what, opening number rehearsal?
Yeah, so it was the opening number, and there was a body roll, and obviously they thought it would be great to put it in boomerang. But I mean, I can move both ways. Why hide it? Why hide it?
It's like hypnotizing me now, Adrian.
The girls next to you, Christina, they look less than enthusiastic. I gotta say, one of them is just like, I don't. She's just like,
Stephanie's at least giving it an attempt.
Giving it a try.
Yeah.
the old college try.
Dancer.
You rocked it though. Like you won with that.
Like, well, Danny hooked
That's
me
a good
up
word.
with every single outfit in this planet.
It was a collaboration.
The messages were insane. I was like, so I have now listed out every single day and every single outfit with missing pieces where we need to fill. What do you think?
What earrings are going with this? What shoes are going with that? Yeah, everything down. I knew everything you were wearing except your underwear. Actually, I knew what underwear you would be wearing for the ball because you needed something that was nude and not see-through.
Oh my gosh.
Because that dress was see-through.
That was see-through. It doesn't look see-through in the photo, which was, oh my God. The third piece actually smacked him straight in the face.
It's the niece.
I was going to say, it looked like you actually hit him in the face.
This is my favorite
part. Through.
This is my favorite part. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1.
Spin on the ground. That one.
Oh.
I love it.
I think I was the most enthusiastic person on that day. And I was actually still working on that day. In between
Jesus.
I actually had to leave and take a phone call and join a group call with the US. So I was like,
love it.
Okay, I've got things to break, I've got calls to make, we've got to make it happen.
Did you remember what I told you about those wooden planks?
Oh yeah. I do remember actually, and I'm kind of sad that I now know.
Oh, jeez.
I thought it was magical. I thought it was the strength within me.
Oh, it is. It totally is. Ignore what I'm saying. You know, a magician never reveals their tricks. We're just going through all your outfits now.
Oh, yeah. I love this look so much.
So
like
beautiful.
You must have been so tired at this point. She'd literally just flown in. This was the second outfit of the day. She'd just flown in from Geneva and then had the coach journey all the way to Cardiff. We quickly got some food down you and I was like, right, you got to get changed. We've got to take the arrival look photos.
You were so good though, because you were like, Christina, you haven't posted today. And I was like, oh, it's really hard to be an influencer. I don't know how to do it. Like, how do they do it? And you can tell because I've not really posted since.
You've had enough.
I was like, where's the post? Where's the post? I was like, what is it on the... Literally, you've got so many things going on in your head. I'm like, you haven't posted the outfit picture. What is it of the gown from the ball? And I was like, you didn't post your ball outfit. And then you was like, there's a great video my sister got. And I was like, post it. Either that one or your Leo modal shoot video.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. I love that video, actually.
Yeah.
That was a great video. I was messaging Leo and he was like, don't worry, next time we see each other, we can do it again. I was like, yes, because this will be content for the next 5 years. Sorted. I was like, that's a collaboration for you. That is a collaboration.
It sure is.
It looks like in this photo you're looking off camera towards food. This is the way I picture most pageant girls when they're hungry, just looking at food, particularly pastries or something sweet.
I actually ate a pastry every single morning. Like, I had a personal trainer, Cyrus. He was amazing. And he really helped me. He actually posted my transformation today. Hold on. Hold on. So I don't. Can you? So Cyrus Savvy is his Instagram. I haven't actually posted. There it is.
There she
is.
You're
so fast.
Hello.
So that was like that was actually in less than 8 weeks.
Wow.
The actual transformation. So like what he was telling me worked really fast, but I think because I didn't want to put all the stress of not eating and not drinking and things on myself, I was eating pastries, I was going out for dinner, I was having a glass of wine, and it just made me happier because food, friends, and drinks make me happy.
I feel like if you really starve yourself of certain things as well, if you really limit yourself, you're more likely to break. So you're better to have little bits of a naughty thing just so you don't break altogether and go on a binge.
I think so, because it's just actually, it's part of you, it's what you enjoy, it makes you happy. And if you're not happy and you're on such a strict regimented diet, you become so agitated because you've not had any sugar, you've not had any caffeine, you're on this really strict path that is not, you're not able to continue that after a pageant. So is that really you?
That's probably why after the pageant you was like, I didn't really have any cravings, because you didn't limit yourself like a crazy person.
Anyway. Literally. But I was very proud. I was just like, but I would say now I'm in between this line of the two people. I now need to go this back again.
Which way are you going? Towards the left or are you going towards the right?
You know the way I'm going. It's coming towards Christmas time, and I've not been to the gym since the pageant.
That's what New Year's are for.
I can't believe it's coming up to Christmas. I don't know, because we were in lockdown in Australia for so long, for the longest time, and then it recently ended, and suddenly it's like, oh, here comes Christmas. So it's weird trying to get back into normal living when you've been in lockdown for 3 or 4 months.
You know what? I am so thankful that my handover, or handover-ish, it's not really a handover, but you know what I mean, is before Christmas, because having to eat healthier over Christmas is a challenge, not gonna lie. So at least I can kind of do my best to make healthy choices now. I know that once I've crowned the new Miss Galaxy UK, I can just enjoy Christmas,
whatever you want,
to the fullest.
Absolutely. Amen,
and then get back on it in the new year, ready for Galaxy International. Remind
me when Galaxy UK is. I keep forgetting. Is it November or is it December?
November 26th for me.
Oh my gosh,
that's so soon. It's like in 2 weeks.
It's 15 days. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
I know.
Come on, Danny, get your abs out. Let's see them.
Did you guys see the Miss Grand announcement? England, Scotland, and Wales aren't going.
Yeah.
So poor Shannon's
Yeah.
going by herself. It's going to be really hard because I remember when I went, just having England, Scotland, and Wales was really comforting. And I found friends in them before we'd even left. We did group chat, and I was less nervous because there isn't anything more nerve-wracking than going to an international, without anyone from back home, which is kind of what Emma must be going through as well, going to universe, because Great Britain, there's just one title, even though there probably should be more. It should be England, Scotland, and Wales. But
I linked Emma up with our queen and the Norwegian queen because I've been working with her. Just started a group chat with them so they can chat to each other. And then I left the group so they can chat about what they want to chat without me seeing all the messages.
You're like, guys, now think about your why. I'm going to leave you here for 5 hours and think about your why. And when I come back, you better have an answer.
Am I really that bad, Christina? Am I that person? That person. Adrian's coming. We need to think about our why. We need to think about our purpose in pageantry. It's like,
I wrote a whole sketch of what I needed to discuss tonight to make sure I get all those points hit, to make sure we've got a successful podcast. Like, there's so many here. There's so many.
Written in invisible ink.
Lies. That's her hit list for jewelry shops that she's hitting up later.
Exactly.
Dear. We just had a. Well, I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't have a list of things with this podcast ever. Things that we're supposed to cover. And one day maybe I will, so I can try and keep it on track. But like I was telling Steve yesterday, I'm like, good luck trying to keep this thing on track. It's like a truck that's driving on ice and the driver is drunk. It's like, it ain't going to end well most of the time, but that's why we do it, because it's fun. Just whilst, because Rachel, who is Phoebe's sister, who's Miss Earth Australia, just while she came up, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I was interviewing our Miss Earth Australia, and I asked her about her sister and when she was going to throw Rachel into a pageant. And I just want to show this to you guys because it was really, really funny. Here it is. Throwing Rachel in a pageant.
Sorry. Rachel, she said never. Did you say yes? Yes.
Next year?
Yes.
Next year?
Never.
I just wish we could turn the camera around and see her facial expression right now. Describe your sister's facial expression.
Okay, this is Sorority. She's like, she has no makeup. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. I'm breaking my poised character right now. Let me.
So, if anyone ever has a weird reaction to someone being asked to be in a pageant, that's probably the strangest reaction I've ever had. Well, she was laughing uncontrollably as well. I mean, that's only a clip. She was probably laughing uncontrollably for the better part of like 5 minutes. I was laughing a lot too. It was really, really funny. But yeah. Anyway, we have been on for a while and talked about a good deal many things. Probably Christina's influence. Even when I interviewed Christina, I feel like we talked about everything.
We did, but then we also spoke for like another hour and a half afterwards, which had some golden nuggets, I have to say, which I wish you recorded so that I could review that. Also,
I think I have it somewhere if you want it. I don't think it was full of nuggets. I'm not full of nuggets. You make me sound like a McDonald's full of nuggets.
Is it golden nuggets or poop nuggets?
Oh, golden nuggets, of course. No, it was great. But we have covered a lot. The Dino Rex, the one walking through the mountains.
The one.
Sponsorship.
As one name.
Danny's journey into styling. I can't wait to read that properly. I hope you do like multiple posts, because you think that everybody sees this one post and then they don't actually.
No.
And so you kind of need to like remind people.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing like maybe a little video or something, a little maybe, we'll see. But I saw that video today. Who is it? You mentioned the guy earlier about your why. I watched that TED talk. It came
Simon
up.
Sinek.
That's the one. So I saw that it was like attached to a course that I've been doing. It's like, and I thought, people don't know my why. They know that I worked in the fashion industry. They know that I've been in the pageant world for quite some time. They probably don't understand why I have such an obsession with styling and looking good and feeling good, because basically it comes down to childhood trauma.
I love childhood trauma, let me tell you that. Give me a slice of that cake.
You guys can joke about that, but I literally did a mini course for the pageant sorority on how to find your why. And one of the ways that I put in there is to actually, you go and revisit either your traumas, your greatest traumas, or your greatest triumphs. Because I feel like a lot of the time, like if you were at school and I don't know, they made you swim or go in a run and you came dead last, and people are laughing at you, that can be traumatic. And then that can actually shape the rest of your life for better or worse. Or if you're an overachiever at school, then suddenly an overachiever is born for the rest of their life. Those people who always have to be perfect, always have to be number one, otherwise it's not worth it. So, yeah, if you revisit those traumas, as traumatic as that might be, it can often give you an understanding as to why you are the person you are today, for better or worse.
Yeah. I had a discussion about this with a friend who was Australian also. You're bringing it out in me, Adrian. And he was just like, you need to figure out your motivator. Is it like a negative concept, or is it positive, or you just want to do it? Like, I can't remember exactly what the 3 pushes were, but my issue is that I always felt underestimated, or people would say comments and I try and prove them wrong. So that is what always pushed me to do better. And he said, that's actually a bit of a dangerous way to live, because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for other people and to try and prove them wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And there's, once that's done, what you're meant to do. And if you didn't achieve, then you think they've won. So you need to move into the other 2, which obviously I can't remember, so I'm still on.
She's on that journey.
I'm still on.
You have your notebook. You think you have a notebook? Just write them. For all the things to write down, write those things. Like, I want to go to the better place. I can't remember where they are.
I've written so many things down now. I don't know where anything is.
I'm amazed you still write things down. I don't really, I mean, I say that because I think writing down for me is a lot better than typing something. But I thought what you were going to talk about was something that we talk about in NLP, where some people are motivated by negative, some people are more motivated by the positive. So you're generally, you are either a moving towards person or a moving away from person. And then there's also internal and external. So what's your frame of reference? Is it more what you think of yourself? Or is it more what other people think of yourself, think of you? And everyone is a bit of both. But we tend to be born one way or the other. Well, certainly by the time you hit 18, I think by the time you're an adult, you'll know if you are a moving away from person, because as you said, it's those people who need to prove people wrong, which can be useful for a time. The problem is it outlives its usefulness, because at a certain point, even the people who've made that comment, they don't care what you're doing anymore, but you're still trying to prove them wrong. So,
totally. And they forget. There was one person, it was a really awkward situation, where I don't really know how I get into this.
You can't just leave it there.
You can tell us off air.
Well, let me think of a good version of that. But basically, I had a friend at uni that we were very close, and then we weren't close. Okay. And then things boiled over, and then we tried to be friends again. And so we were sat in my kitchen, like look in our final year of uni, just looking through comments because we were looking for some kind of information, and it was with this his best friend. He was looking for this information, and then all of a sudden this comment stream came up about me, and then I was like, what's that? And then he was like trying to shut it down, and then it was just being like, oh, Christina is never gonna amount to anything, her looks will fade but she won't get her degree. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, because we fell out, right? But I never even think to say anything like that about him, because I never believed that he was not intelligent or he wasn't a good person. I just believed in that time that unfortunate events had happened to lead for us to not be friends in that moment. But I'd never think to like take him down a peg, like, oh, he's so stupid or he's never going to make it or blah, blah, blah. And so when I saw that literally in a conversation thread, I was like, wow, you actually believe that. You don't think I'm capable of getting my degree. And that what hurt the most is because I didn't believe it either. And because I really struggled and with like the comparison, and I'd never got into medicine. I was doing pharmacology and I was still like kind of struggling with my direction, never feeling good enough. And that kind of reinforced the idea. And for a moment I was like, oh my God, it's true. And then all of a sudden this burst of rage happened. And I was like, get out.
Frantically studying.
Frantically started. I was like, I was like, just get out of my house. Get out. I'd never say that about you. Like, because I don't believe it. And the fact that you do believe that that's true is so upsetting. But I was like, well, screw you. I'm going to prove you wrong and prove you all wrong. I'm going to prove you all wrong. I'm going to leave this room until I get this grade. But it stuck with me for a really long time because, you know, I think if you've done anything to do with appearance, then you naturally think, oh, people just want to be my friend because I've done this or like I've appeared in this. And then you just think your value is based on the way you look rather than the way you are or what you can provide or what you've earned. You just get put down in that sense, and then you start to believe it. Like I've talked to a lot of beauty queens and a lot of models that don't value themselves in any way because they're just like, I'm only here because I can take a good picture. And that's why I've got friends, and that's why I've got this job, and this is why I've got money, and this is why I've got blah, 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 blah. And it's so sad because once you start going down that pathway, it's really hard to get away from it. Sorry,
the problem is well, the problem is that to a degree that's actually true. I mean, any good-looking girl will know, especially one that's doing modeling, is you do get a certain amount of attention and a certain kind of attention based purely on how you look. And, you know, if you cut your hair or you change your hair color or you start posting just more motivational posts rather than posts of you that were professionally taken, some people will complain, why are you putting this up? Or you might lose followers. So, you know, to an extent, it's true. But that's why it's so, and I keep saying this, it's so important to work on who you are and, you know, give value to what you can do and what you can bring to the table other than how you look. And I like to think that's what pageantry is supposed to do. And I know it differs from system to system, but it's supposed to be about who you are on the inside, not just how you present on the outside.
Yeah, you have to build those strong foundations. And like some people can make it to the top with shaky foundations because they present themselves well. But
that's even more dangerous.
Exactly. But as soon as they're like on the international stage or, you know, in front of a group of people or having to really show who they are, it's a problem because that's when they break because they're not sure who they are just yet. And I think that's maybe why I came out of Miss Universe Great Britain. Like, obviously, it's a massive achievement to be first runner-up. And there's moments where I've been like, you know, I've made it first runner-up 3 times. Like, why am I not good enough? And then I kind of revert back and I was like, actually, I fucking killed it. Sorry, my French. I'm trying to not swear, but it's part of my personality.
I love it.
You did.
The Scot has arrived. It's so funny.
It's been on the
think
week.
that's
That's what I was actually saying
That's-
to Adrian too. Anytime I've ever done a
What?
national, I've always had runners-up bad luck. Like I've always
But
I came
it's all it's all
twice
about how you guys look at it, because you can take I came first runner up. Why am I not good enough? And then I promise you, someone else is going, oh, first runner up. I wish I'd come first runner up. So it's a lot, and that's not positive thinking. It's like you got to just frame it a bit differently.
Christina,
But Christina,
is it just me?
congratulations. I think that's the first
Amazing.
F-bomb we've had dropped in the podcast.
Oh, really? Sorry, guys.
But is
1 minute
it
19.
just me?
Doesn't
Or
bother
is
me
it-
at all.
Or is there a massive sense of relief when you hear your name called up out as runner-up? Like a massive sense of relief? Because you
When you
know
get-
that the pressure's not on when you don't hear your name being announced. Maybe I'm just crazy that I enjoy not winning, but I just always feel relief when I don't win. Like,
Well, I've just never know what it's like to have won. I don't know what that feeling is like. Like, I didn't
Neither.
actually think I was going to be placing first runner up because I felt I tanked the answer section. Like, I was just like, oh dear. Oh
no, I
no.
thought you were good.
Oh no, I sucked like
Those
ass.
questions were so hard. That's
They
what
were
everyone in the
brutal.
audience were saying. Like, every single question was brutal.
Absolutely
I
savage.
think it was it Stephanie's question? She got a really hard question. Like you all did. Every single one of you. Like
Yeah.
I
What
feel
were
like
the questions? What sort
Oh,
of
no.
questions
they
were
were
they?
all very political, and
Yeah.
you know, you had to have done research and homework to do it. It was less of a chance for you to shine in who you are. It was more about, you know, world events and less about you. So it's hard for you to shine and it's hard for you to show yourself. Like that's what I don't like about those sort of pageant questions, because you don't have the chance to let people know who you are and why you deserve to be where you are. It's just, I don't know.
I think what
Oh, no.
Paula was trying to do was to replicate the universe stage. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's a shame because, well, it's not a shame because at the end of the day, Emma did a great job on that question. Like, I looked at the girls and I was
She
like,
did.
you actually smashed these questions. I got my question. I struggle with long words. My vocabulary is not that wide, but I am passionate. So
I know the
when you
feeling.
just speak with confidence, it comes up a bit better. But when someone's like, my question was, Boris Johnson refused to make misogyny a hate crime. Like, what's your point of view on it and why? And basically, when people hit me with like misogyny or narcissism or these kind of words, I go into pure panic mode, and it throws me back into being like not smart and like
Me too.
panicking.
I hate when I hear those kind of words as well.
You can have a conversation about it when you're, oh, hello. So cute. So you can have a conversation about it, but when it's on a stage, I got the question, I was like, I was about to swear again. I was like, oh no. It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. It was that moment. And then I just started talking. And I was like, this is it. And I started going around in this big circle. And it was about a circle for about 10 seconds. And then there was just this thing that went off in my head. And I was like, at least fight for it, Christina. Like, go down trying. So then I got really passionate and handsy and started to just give it some heart in whatever I was saying. And I like ended right on the dot, and I was like, and that's what we can do today. I have no idea what I said, but apparently that's what we can do today.
That is what
You sound
one
like you
can
went-
do today.
You sound
What?
like you went full Braveheart mode. They will never take our freedom.
I had to because I was going down like the Titanic, sadly. And I came off the stage and I was like, oh my God. That's the moment that hit me. Was like, well, it's over now for me. The girls did amazing, but I processed the loss whilst we were waiting for the judges to deliberate. So when we were top
Right.
5, I was looking for who was going to be top 3. And I was like, who's it going to be? Like, the girls absolutely killed those answers. And then they had Amy as third, and I was like, interesting. She did really well on the question. And I was like, oh, who's going to get next? I was like, oh, maybe Charlie or Steph. She did really amazing. Or Emma, they killed the question again. And then they were like, me. And I was like, are you having a laugh? Like, that was the worst answer ever.
No, I think we always convince ourselves that we answer our questions on stage really badly. I remember like a few times I would be cringing backstage, and then after I get home, my mum would show me the recordings, and I'm like, no, maybe it's not as bad as what I thought it was. And I think we always like overthink it, and in our heads we panic, but it's really not as bad as you think. I didn't think I was there, and I thought you did well. I thought all of you did well. There was a few of those questions that a lot of the girls, even in the audience, said that they wouldn't have knew what to say. So I think every single one of you did amazing regardless. And we all sat in the audience and we said we don't know who's won because all of you answered amazing.
There wasn't a single like bad answer. Usually there's
Not
an
one.
answer where the
There's
girl
usually
didn't
one.
answer the question,
Yeah.
or it was rambly. You were all like
on point,
concise, to the point, and answered the question. There wasn't a single bad answer. For you, you must be like dying inside because you just, you know, after you come off, you're like, oh, I could have said this and I could have said that. But actually in the moment, you don't realize how good it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of, the thing is, because I was so accepting and I was just like, with my answer, I was like, I didn't deserve to win with that answer. I was quite, oh my gosh.
This is my life.
This is your life. Yeah, I just like didn't think I deserved to win. That's why I like accepted afterwards that was my fate. And I just didn't think lots and lots about it. Like, I could have said this or I could have said that, because the words itself panicked me. And that's how I performed under that panic. There has been moments driving in the car, I was like, oh, maybe I could have said that. But I was just like, actually, I never thought of it in the moment. I didn't really know what it meant in that moment because I saw one Instagram post about it, one Instagram story about the Boris Johnson question. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then kind of carried on with my day. And I was just like, I don't think I can only accept what I've done and move on. Mm-hmm. Of course, you're going to have wobblers afterwards, but like, why punish yourself so much? Like, you can't change it. Like, and I'm actually very glad to have aged out because I don't know what else I can. Like, what more can I do? I'm not sure. Probably
what you can do is start eating those lollies, start stealing diamonds, dressing in all black. That's what you can do, and start referring to oneself as one. That's apparently what one can do.
One can do that. And I also, I said to Danny, I didn't know what to do with my feelings, so I wrote a song.
You send me a voice clip of it. To be honest, I thought my first thought was that's a lovely song. My second thought is I'm worried for Christina. I don't think she's quite right. That's when you sent me that voice clip because of the lyrics of the song. I'm like, oh, she hasn't taken this well.
Oh, but I love the fact that you turned it into something creative. Try to take something positive out of the situation. Yeah. Girl, I say record it and get the money from it.
It works for Taylor Swift.
Sell it,
and Adele. No, but the thing is, like, I think people lie when they say they're not upset. Because of course you've been working for 3 months. Like, yes, you've enjoyed the experience, but of course you're going to feel feelings of of disappointment naturally. So why do we all have to pace? Like, it took me like a week to post afterwards because I said to somebody, I was like, I don't actually know how I feel about it all.
You're still processing it afterwards. And I think when you come first runner-up, I think that's harder to come first runner-up than it is to come dead last.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because you got so close.
It's so close, but at the end of the day, it comes down to somebody's natural preference. Like, yes, there's like the performance element, but to be in the top 5, you've obviously done pretty well. And not to say that the other girls haven't done well. It's just because the girls that they've preferred have made it to the next step. And the way they like that particular communication. And just it kind of feeds down the selection. It's like natural selection. Whatever survives gets down to the final point. And you make it to the next level. You're able to not regenerate. That is a word, actually. You know where I'm going with that.
That is a word, but I'm not sure how it fits into the sentence. Oh dear.
It is natural selection at its finest. No, but basically the judges have a preference. The girls all did well in their top 5, and it comes down to who each judge likes the most. And, you know, every girl did very well on the walk, did very well on the question, and then it comes down to who they like the most. And, you know, sometimes it's not you.
It's not even that. I think it's down to like cold, hard points. So when I'm judging a pageant, the criteria that it says in front of me, I award points in order who maxed out the criteria in front of me. Sometimes the criteria is, you know, appropriate. Sometimes the criteria is a bit... I remember I judged a pageant once where there was a score out of 10 for eye contact. Now, some of these girls knew that were competing that there was an eye contact, like you can max out the points. So they were going around and looking at the judges. But you can't score them a 0 or a 5 for eye contact. The girl bloody stared at me, like creeped me out to a point, but they maxed out eye contact. So, you know, you could potentially win because you gave scary eye contact. So it really depends.
Give them appropriate for the normalcy of the level of eye contact.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not like specific. It just says eye contact, score out of 10. Or, you know, for example, evening gown. You might have a section where it says elegance, or so maybe someone might come out in a really, really sexy gown. They might not think it's elegant enough. If it's just about elegance. So
you remember that's actually an interpretation of the judge and their preference.
Exactly.
So come back to your natural taste.
It's all down, it is down to how the criteria is worded and how the judge interprets that. Because sometimes I've judged pageants before, and the person that I thought might win didn't win, but I can understand why they won because of the criteria. Do you know what I mean? So it's always subjective, and you know what? The crown doesn't define you. I never even made top 5 at Miss University both years that I competed. So I would have loved to have come where you came all times that you've done Miss University GB, but you know, it doesn't define you. It doesn't define your future success. There are beauty queens out there that have won the big time, that have done not a lot with their lives. And then there's girls that have never won that have gone on to be Oprah Winfrey.
Kill it, Oprah. Kill it, Oprah.
She didn't win Miss Universe now, did she? And look at her, killing the game.
What was it? Did Halle Berry not do it as well?
Halle Berry did Miss World, yeah.
Did she do Miss World?
She was Miss World.
Did she win Miss World?
She was. I know she was Miss World United States, but she was World.
She won Miss World, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I knew Gal Gadot won. No, she didn't win. She
Universe
represented
Israel, but she didn't place at Miss Universe.
No.
She's done pretty well for herself. You know, she's done okay.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to win a pageant in order to excel in life, and that's kind of what I always instill. And I remember saying to you, Christina, like, Miss Universe was my dream as well, and what you felt afterwards is exactly how I felt, how a lot of girls feel every single year that age out. And I always say, you don't need a crown in order to live like Miss Universe every single day. I live my life, my best Miss Universe life every single day. I feel fabulous.
I love that.
I am Miss Universe. I am my own Miss Universe. I don't need a crown to prove it. I don't need my face on billboards because I feel it in my soul.
I love that.
Exactly.
And no one can take that crown away from me.
The cat's crawling around in the background, up and down her furniture. I'm just waiting for you to start a cat pageant, kitty pageant.
I think Mari's
with a
the
little
winner
crown.
this time because he's so pretty.
A little crown.
He looks so
So,
grumpy.
Let's ask him an interview question. Oh.
Well, peace.
What gown are you gonna wear? What color? That was the question. What color?
What color gown would you wear? I think we'd wear an ice blue to match his eyes.
Ice,
That
ice,
is the
baby.
face of a cat who's about to smack you in the face. That's what that look.
No, he's so good.
Anyway, whilst Danny nurses her baby, let's wrap this up. I'll just blanket ask, anyone got anything exciting coming up this week? Just working?
I have a preview event at the property. So we're having like 30 to 40 people coming along. And then I'm actually in Manchester on Saturday and half of Sunday.
You're a what?
Anyone close to Manchester?
Oh, you're in Manchester. I thought you said you're a matador. I was like, what?
I like to throw you, but I don't like to throw you that much.
Like a matador. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds exciting. Anyone got anything else before we hang up?
Not really.
No.
Just gonna be working.
Oh, I love the sign. Wrapping up.
Wrapping up.
This is the equivalent of the music to play you off stage. So, Christina, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, as always. I hope I managed to bring back the energy for my first question.
You're a big ball of energy, that's for sure.
But yeah, thank you so much, girls and Adrian. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to hopefully see you guys again soon. Adrian, it's most likely to be over the internet with you.
In Dubai.
Oh,
in Dubai, where one goes.
Where one goes. I can just picture us getting a group picture with holding up champagne, being all, is this what one does?
Where one goes. When one goes to Dubai. And a body roll boomerang.
Oh yeah, at the same time.
It would spill everywhere.
Or just downing the champagne. I can live with that too.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. If you're not in a pageant, you can do whatever you want.
Not competing.
What was that, Chloe?
That's all in the joys of not competing, like being able to have a wine and not caring.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that day.
Your day is never coming. International Galaxy is never happening. It's going to be postponed again and again. You'll be 60, 70, 80 years old. Like, I'm still sorting out my wardrobe. I've had it planned for the last 40 years and it's gone out of fashion again.
It's come back round again.
I'll be dead. I'll be way past caring. By the time I'll be long buried or cremated or something at this rate. On that bright, cheery note, thank you to everyone for watching. And we will speak to you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Sorority Access is now open. So if you'd like to join an amazing group of women and learn how to be the most powerful, confident, and impactful queen possible, head to thepageantsorority.com. I'll see you there and see you in the next video.